During World War II, Adolf Hitler believed Germany could still win, not with armies, but with science. Deep in the frozen mountains of Nazi-occupied Norway, German engineers were racing to build something that could change the course of human history forever. An atomic weapon. And standing between Hitler and that future was a small group of commandos, outnumbered, under-equipped, and operating in total silence. Their mission was called Operation Gunnerside. It would become one of the most daring sabotage operations of the entire war. This is War Files Uncovered. By 1942, German scientists were making alarming progress in nuclear research. At the heart of their effort was a rare substance known as heavy water, a critical component for controlling nuclear reactions. Only one facility in Europe could produce it in large quantities, the Vemork hydro plant in Norway. After Germany invaded Norway in 1940, the plant fell under Nazi control. From there, heavy water was shipped directly to Germany, fueling Hitler's dream of a superweapon. British intelligence realized the danger immediately. If Germany succeeded in building a nuclear bomb first, the war and the world would change forever. Stopping Vemork became an absolute priority. The first Allied attempt to sabotage the plant ended in disaster. In Operation Freshman, British gliders carrying commandos crashed in the mountains during a brutal storm. Survivors were captured and executed under Hitler's infamous commando order. The message was clear: failure meant death. Despite the loss, the Allies refused to abandon the mission. Instead, they turned to a new plan, smaller, quieter, and far more dangerous. They would send Norwegian commandos, men who knew the mountains, the weather, and the terrain better than anyone else. In February 1943, 6 Norwegian Special Forces soldiers parachuted into the frozen wilderness of southern Norway. They landed in total darkness, in sub-zero temperatures, hundreds of miles from the nearest friendly force. For weeks, they survived on limited supplies, skiing across mountains, hiding in snow-covered cabins, and avoiding German patrols. Their rendezvous point was a remote plateau where another Norwegian team, survivors from an earlier mission, had been hiding for months. When the two teams finally met, the operation moved into its final phase. They would attack Vemork on foot. The Vemork plant was considered unsabotageable. It sat atop a steep ravine, guarded by German troops, surrounded by fences, floodlights, and minefields. German engineers believed no force could reach it without being detected. They were wrong. Instead of using the guarded bridge, the commandos descended into the ravine, crossed an icy river in darkness, and climbed the opposite cliff, using ropes and bare hands. Not a single alarm was triggered. Not a single shot was fired. Once inside the facility, the commandos located the heavy water electrolysis chambers, the heart of Germany's nuclear program. They placed explosive charges with precise timing. Before leaving, they made a deliberate choice. They left a British-made submachine gun behind. It was a message. This was sabotage, not an accident. Moments later, the explosives detonated. The heavy water production equipment was completely destroyed. As German forces scrambled to respond, the commandos vanished into the mountains. Some skied more than 250 miles across hostile territory to reach Sweden. Others remained hidden, evading capture for weeks. Not a single saboteur was killed or captured. The destruction of Vemork delayed Germany's nuclear program indefinitely. Later attempts to move remaining heavy water supplies ended in disaster when a ferry carrying them sank into a Norwegian lake. Hitler's atomic dream was effectively over. Operation Gunnerside didn't involve massive armies or decisive battles. It relied on precision, patience, and men willing to disappear into the cold, knowing they might never return. Many historians believe this single mission prevented Nazi Germany from ever developing a nuclear weapon. It was a victory won without fanfare, without medals, and without recognition for decades. A mission carried out in silence. This was Operation Gunnerside, the mission that stopped Hitler's nuclear dream. And this is War Files Uncovered.